Well, this game certainly probably sucked if you're a Miami Dolphins fan. They didn't need this win to make the playoffs, but they would have made the playoffs if they win, and now they need some help, and Baltimore and Cleveland have both already won. So they need the Colts to lose to the Jaguars, which seems impossible, but keep in mind, they did lose to the Jaguars earlier in the season, week 1, two very different teams then, but still, there is some hope. But yeah, this was a tough loss, and I want to talk about what went wrong, and I also want to talk about who exactly is it to blame, because I know a lot of people are blaming Tua, and I want to talk about, is it Tua's fault, or is it the rest of the offense's fault, or is it just Buffalo being good? I think it's kind of a combination of all of them, but I definitely don't think that Tua was just like a complete mess out there. So we'll start off with this play. This play is actually going to be a positive play. It's going to be early on in the second half, and to me, this was a clear change of decision-making by Miami. They kind of said, listen, we're down. We need to start throwing our way back into it. If we turn the ball over, we turn the ball over. And that's what they're doing here, especially because there's only going to be one safety deep for Buffalo. So what Miami is doing is they have Devontae Parker running a deep route, and they're going to have Tua throw it up to him. And, I think these types of plays is partially why we've seen Fitzpatrick be able to throw Miami back into games, is because he is good at those deep balls, at those 50-50 balls. He's clearly better than Tua is at this point in his career. So I do think that that's, they probably could have used Fitzpatrick a little bit, but at the same time, I don't want to just completely bash Tua, because you're going to see that this is going to be a really good throw. Watch, Tua takes the snap, and he's going to make a throw. And you see that there is not much separation, but it's Devontae Parker, one of the best, if not the best, just pure 50-50 ball receivers in the NFL. He's tremendous at that. I'm not saying he's, a better route runner than Tyreek Hill or something, but when it comes to these types of situations, he's dominant. And this is a great situation for Miami, and that's what Tua needed to do, was to throw up those kind of 50-50 balls. It's an incredibly accurate throw. Good job at Parker as well. Great adjustment, and they're able to get a big completion. And so then I kind of thought, okay, the tide is starting to turn. Tua playing better. Let's see what happens. But then this play would happen, and this was just a huge blow, and it wasn't really Tua's fault that much. It really wasn't. So Miami has bad field position, but it's only a 15-point game with, we're midway through the third quarter, so plenty of time left. 2-score game. If you score a touchdown here, it's a 1-score game. So you got that going for you. This is going to be the same coverage, and this time he has a receiver just running a quick slant route over the middle. He likes this route. You have to throw it quickly, but this is a good route against this type of coverage. These are the kind of routes Tua has thrown a lot in Miami, so it makes sense to run something like this. But when Tua takes the snap and he throws it in that direction, it gets intercepted, but it gets intercepted because the Miami receiver just fell over. That's probably a completion if he stays on his feet. So that's kind of why I feel like you can't totally put the blame on Tua here. Norman was able to make a good adjustment and make the grab, but honestly, as a quarterback, what can you really do about that? What can you do about your receiver just falling over and it resulting in an easy interception, and it's going to be an easy pick six? Norman does do a good job of, staying on his feet, rushing in, getting the touchdown. So again, give him credit. You got to give Buffalo credit in general. They played a really good football game. They're a really good football team, but I just don't think that you can totally put the blame on Tua here. I think there's a lot of people to blame, and I just don't know how much Tua is to blame. But that being said, there are, I think, very valid criticisms of Tua as well. It's both. I think you'd be delusional to say this was Tua's fault. I also think you'd be delusional to say Tua did nothing wrong, like this one. So what's going to happen is that it's going to be a man coverage play once again, but this time it's cover 2-man. And so you see the route that Tua wants to throw to. This is a good route against this type of coverage. Usually, the reason why in a lot of man coverage plays you see someone cover over the middle is because these routes can be so effective. It's a good angle for Tua to make this throw. It's over the middle. There's no traffic there. And with the cut, that makes it easier for someone to get open. So this is just a good route against this coverage, and it makes sense for Tua. Once he reads the play, realizes what's going on, he's going to throw it in that direction. So Tua takes the snap, and he is going to look up in that direction, makes the throw, and first off, this is just an incredibly blurry still screen right here. I apologize for that. I work with what I have on these Sunday afternoon videos. Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it's more difficult. This is what I got, not exactly the most high-res image, but we're working with it. But you can clearly see with the image that there is a receiver who's open. So this is what should be a first down. And again, It's 35-13 right now, so it's definitely a pretty big deficit, but it's a 22-point game. If you score 3 touchdowns, you can potentially get back in it. This would be 1, and again, Buffalo has their backups in at this point, so you have that opportunity. You definitely have a shot, but they're not going to because of this throw. It's just not a good throw. It's too high, it gets batted up, and then intercepted. You can sit here and say, well, the batted up and intercepted part wasn't really his fault, and there is definitely an element of flukiness to this. Also, you could argue that a great receiver could somehow make that grab, which is probably fair as well, but at the same time, it still wasn't a great throw. And when you overthrow guys over the middle when there's 2 safeties deep, that is how interceptions happen. Sometimes interceptions do happen that way because of the tip. So yeah, a bit unfortunate because it was a tipped pass, but also not a great throw, and, it just happened to be the worst result from a not great throw. And the last play I wanted to show is this one. The game was over at this point. It's 42-13. We're just barely in the fourth quarter, but, it was just over. Tua had already thrown too many interceptions, and this one would not help things. This was probably the worst throw of the game, honestly. So it's going to be cover 3 zone that Buffalo is in, and you see the route concept that Miami is currently using. They're going to try to throw a deep route here. Again, it can work. What you really have to do, though, is throw it, I would say, underneath. Don't throw it too far deep because you'd be throwing it in the double coverage the further deep you throw it. You want to get rid of this ball quickly. That's the idea here. Tua takes the snap, and he does an okay job at getting rid of it quickly, but it looks like he just completely overshot his man. Look at where he's trying to throw it to, and look where the ball is. The ball is 5 feet over his head, and I don't know if this was just a whiff. Part of me wonders if it was some sort of miscommunication, but I don't really get how it could be a miscommunication because he basically just ran straight forward. So unless the miscommunication was that Tua thought he was faster, I just think that was a missed throw, and it's a disastrous missed throw. Those ones end up in interceptions most of the time. So listen, Tua's not the reason that they lost this game. They gave up 56 points. You can't completely bash Tua for this. He also deserves some criticism, I think. But you know what? He's a rookie. He's playing in high-leverage situations, which most rookies don't have to do. I do think that this is a team that's relied on their defense and special teams, and in the first half, they gave up 28 points, and that was just it put Tua in a tough situation where he couldn't play his game. Clearly, he has a lot to improve upon. There's no doubt about it, but people are going to crush him for it. I don't think they should. That's my opinion. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Always love hearing from you. And of course, as always, thanks for watching.